Hi, everyone. Welcome to American Firearms Network. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it, and we hope you like and subscribe. And for those of you who are new, thank you, and we hope you leave some comments. This show is about, for those of you who want to be an instructor or are thinking about it, we're going to talk about it right now, what it takes. Okay? So, what are your thoughts? A new person that's watching us now, they're thinking about maybe getting into being a firearms instructor.
Yeah.
Maybe they're about to take their NRA class, or they're thinking about it, or the USCCA. What are your recommendations for our
Well,
viewers out there who are watching us now?
well, the first thing is you have to have a certain standard of shooting. Okay, if you're a beginner, you don't rack up and try and take
No way. No way.
an instructor's
No
course
way.
because you'll get found out very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you have a certain amount of shooting ability.
And I'm sorry, and that's like, right? It's obvious, right? You can't go into an instructor course. You got to know how to. You got to be at a level to be an instructor, right? You got to be really comfortable with a firearm.
You've got to be.
These counselors that are certifying you, they know right away what's going on, right?
Yeah,
They'll see you in 2 minutes. What the hell? If you know, you don't know, whatever, and you'll get weeded out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you really don't know, maybe you'll get through the class, but you're gonna end up having to take the certification again, and some having to take the shooting qual again, right? Because the shooting qual is usually a test. You got to get up in front of the class on a lot of these certifications.
Yeah.
And you got to know what you're doing. You got to be good with the gun, because some, even if you pass the class, some might make you come back and do the shooting qual again.
Mm-hmm.
If you're lucky, some won't. You got to take the whole thing over.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's so important to remember there. Also, that when you decide that you want to be an instructor, it's important that you look at a couple of other criteria. I always tell people the importance of being able to communicate your skill to other people. One of the worst things is going to an instructor and he doesn't really know how to communicate his skills to you, and he's not patient. You have to be patient. You have to be able to get down to the level of the student, find out what works for them, and be able to tailor your training to that student. That's so important. Also, remember, it's a business. So you're not being an instructor just to say, I'm going to be an instructor and sit on the couch. You're going to go out there to drum up business. So you're going to have to work it like a business. And I must admit, Todd, sometimes that's not easy to get people into your classes.
Well, what happens is, right, and like, just to touch on what you just said before, you have to be compassionate. You have to be a people's person.
Yeah.
And you have to adapt to the student that you have. Are you able to do that? Are you able to stay calm? Are you able to remember how important safety is, and going over the 4 safety rules, right? That's like the Bible in the gun world, right?
Yeah.
The safety rules. There's nothing more important than, right? You have to master each and one of those rules and really articulate what they're all about and why, right? Why they're there. Okay. So this is not for everyone, right? You really have to enjoy doing it. And again, you have to know what you're doing, period.
And you have to also remember that you're going to have some upfront costs. You're going to have to get some kind of insurance. You can't take instructors insurance. You can't take people on the range and not be covered with that. So there's some of the things that you're going to have. Okay, you're going to have to maybe get an RSO if you have a range where you're going to have multiple people shooting. That's going to cost money to get an RSO. I don't advise you, one instructor, trying to train 6 or 7 people at once without an RSO. That's a no-no. So it's always good that you have somebody with you that's able to come and do the classes with you. But all I can say, if that's what you want to do, get out and do it. And remember, and I've always said this to people, you are always learning. Just because you become an instructor and you pass one of the certifications, it doesn't mean that you can't learn. We constantly learn from our instructors.
Just because you got a certification means nothing. Okay? Just know that. Okay? A lot of people can pass these certifications. Okay? With a little bit of practice. Yes, I'm not taking it lightly. Maybe I shouldn't have said nothing. It's something. Okay? It's not easy. But you really have to train with other people and other instructors,
Yeah.
and you have to learn and master your craft. Okay? Yeah, you're excited. You just passed one of these certifications. You're excited. Look in the mirror. Like, can you really teach someone? Are you really qualified to teach someone? Okay? So just because you have this certification doesn't mean you're able to teach. You have to be honest with yourself and get this certification. Go for it. But before you start teaching, go get other lessons. Go learn from other instructors. That's what I did. Like, I just called instructors and took lessons with them. I wanted to hear their style and see how they taught. And I learned how they taught. And I went to a bunch of them and I put my own little curriculum together, along with the other certifications with, these big institutions. I worked some of that in too.
Yeah.
And then I added my own thing of what I thought. But you need to go out there and train with some of these big time people too. So these big gun guys.
Yeah.
You gotta do all of it. Just because you don't have just because you have the certification means very, very little. I hate to say that. Okay.
Personality goes a long way as well. I remember when one of the first lessons I took, I had a guy with me, and he was another instructor, and I had about 7 people with me, and they were all Americans. And first thing that it was like a tense atmosphere because they didn't know anything about me. I didn't know anything about them. And the first thing I said to them is, it's kind of ironic that I'm in America as an Englishman teaching Americans how to shoot.
Yeah.
And immediately everybody started laughing, and it just kind of, made the atmosphere a little easy to work with. So personality is important. Making sure that people feel comfortable with you, because I don't care how you shoot. If people do not feel comfortable in your classes, they will not come back.
That's a big point. But you said they don't care how you shoot. You didn't mean it necessarily literally, right?
No.
Because being accurate and being a really good shooter as an instructor, to me, in my opinion, is critical.
Yes.
You can't be an instructor and not shoot accurately, period. And you better be able to demonstrate that to your students, okay? I don't take a student on the range, okay, without doing my own little demonstration to show them, hey, you're with someone that can shoot, that can talk the talk and walk the walk.
Yeah.
You better practice, and you better be able to grab their stock gun or whatever gun is and even use their gun if you have to. They might want you to, try my gun, let me know what you think, whatever. You better be able to take any student's gun and be able to shoot accurately. And that takes a lot of practice. I'm in the range all the time, and so is Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, we're trying to keep sharp all the time. All right, because you don't want to be embarrassed out there. Okay, and it's the worst thing. You have a student and you're shooting low left. Okay, and they end up shooting better than you. I've seen that before, right? With instructors. Okay. I've seen instructors shooting low left. The student's shooting better than them. Okay, it's like, come on, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't have your student shoot better than you.
No, you
That's
can't.
number one rule. Okay.
You can't have it.
So there's nothing more humiliating, embarrassing. And I've seen that before, and it's horrible. And I feel so bad.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice, and it's not easy. And still, sometimes I'm on point, sometimes I'm not. But I try to always stay sharp and make sure I'm in that range.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that, Instructor Paul.
With that, I want you to get off the couch, and if you want to be an instructor, go do it. Read about it, do the certifications, and get out there and be the best you can be. Okay? Take care. We'll see you again. God bless.